Oh, yeah, it's your boy, Live Wire, and I'm back in the motherfucking building, baby. So what's going on, people? Today is a good day. It's Monday. It's now 6 days away from being Microsoft's reveal of Xbox Scorpio, and I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm elated. Man, listen. I just can't wait for it. But I've been looking on the internet and there's a lot of chatter going on. Mostly good, some bad, but but there's a lot of chatter going on. And basically it's people, talking about what Major Nelson kind of revealed today, which is a more in-depth look of what Project Scorpio is, and they were taking basically a real close look at the dev kit for Project Scorpio, and basically showing what their agenda was for that. Not that they haven't said this multiple times, but sometimes you have to use repetition in order to let shit sink into a motherfucker's brain. Because some people can't hear shit once. They gotta hear it multiple times for that shit to set in. I mean, it is what it is. But it's looking good. They're talking about how, the setup's going to be, the Project Scorpio is basically aimed at giving us, the like best console experience that we've ever seen. And, they haven't wavered from that. And that's the crazy thing. Like a lot of people feel like, it comes closer to E3, Microsoft will back down, Microsoft will change up, but they haven't. They've definitely stuck to their guns as far as this is going to be the best experience that you can see on console. And I just can't wait, man. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull that shit. You know what? Do I have it up? I may. Hold up. Let's see who's up in here real quick before I jump over to this other thing. Hold on. Yep, pop that in. All right. Spiting, Sadiq, what's going on? Who's next? What's going on? See y'all up in there. E3 hype is real. Yeah, man, I can't wait. This is by far going to be the best conference I think we've seen in a while. Just because there's going to be so much content. Like, imagine this. The crazy thing is, once I can see Microsoft doing this, once their conference is officially done, you could just go. Well, you should either you're already on Mixer or you're going to be going over to Mixer, and then they will have more content. Not that they won't have content on YouTube. I'm pretty sure they will. Actually, they're probably doing. I think they're going to be doing a bunch of sit downs anyway, so they'll probably start with IGN more than likely. So maybe they'll go over to them first and kind of discuss what's going on, since they are the biggest amongst all gaming sites first. So they'll deal with them. Probably mess around with GameSpot and all the other fucking little places. What up, bro? What's going on? You in this bitch? What's up? Yeah, but yeah, man, it's like, like you see the salt. The salt is so real right now. Like the levels are so fucking high. You could taste the sodium in the fucking air. That's how crazy this shit is. Like, that's how crazy the salt is out here. Like, the whole thing with Mikey Barra just tweeting out the chip and fucking ponies and fake neutrals losing their mind, which is just insane. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that shit, yo, like that's some Facebook bitch made ass level of fucking just hate. Like, You tweet out a picture, yo, look at I got my new car. All of a sudden, motherfuckers just hitting you up like, that shit probably rented. That shit ain't even real. Look at your rims. Like they on some real fuckboy shit out here. Like the levels have gotten ridiculous. It's like, yo, they made a popping console. Why can't y'all just, enjoy your shit? Well, because the truth is, I don't think they ever really did. I think a lot of these people they were more so Microsoft haters than Sony, enthusiasts. I think that they just were bandwagon people. Like I ride with the bandwagon, like that's what I'm doing. So I'm now that tides have turned, now it's like, damn, they're not feeling this shit. It's almost like, think about it, it's like people that hated on LeBron. Like a lot of people were salty about LeBron's decision to go to Miami, myself included. I was salty about that shit. I wasn't salty about the fact that he wanted to go hang out with his boys. I was salty at the fact that he made a goddamn super team, and then everybody in the league was going to get trounced by them. That was my issue with it, right? So I felt, yo, if you're going to do this, y'all got to pay your dues, because I don't like people building super teams and then just automatically winning without going through trials and tribulation. That's always been my feeling on it. So when they lost to Dallas, after they lost to Dallas, I was like, I didn't even care that Dallas won. I don't think anybody else did, because if you look at what happened with the whole sports and ESPN, nobody even really talked about Dallas winning the championship outside of people who are really Dallas fans. Everybody else was just talking about how LeBron lost and how the Heat lost, right? But when they won the following year, people were cool with them winning because they had paid their dues, Now, to me, like that's kind of how it is. You're gonna have those people that are Xbox haters, and they felt like, yo, they got too big headed and they didn't pay their dues. Well, Xbox took their lumps. They took lumps with 360. I mean, not 360, with the Xbox One. Then they came back with the 360. They made a nice little run, but then they kind of fell off the wagon because they got ahead of themselves. It is what it is. Things happen, right? But now they're coming back. They decided, instead of fucking going out and really, there's always, I bet you, hold on. It's like always a goddamn telemarketer. The fuck? Hello. No. Goddamn motherfuckers. Yo, they call all the, I swear to God, when they don't call the whole time, I'm not on the fucking, I'm working, no call, nothing. It's fucking bone dry. Like no calls at all. All of a sudden, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do a live stream. Motherfuckers, it's not once, it's every fucking time. Every fucking time these motherfuckers call. I swear they got my shit tapped. They be like, nah, it's like a pony. You'd be like, nah, we gotta call this motherfucker, annoy his ass. There's always somebody calling about some goddamn, do you want some solar panels on your house? Bitch, no. I said no. But anyway, back to what I was saying. God damn it. Got me all upset and shit. But yeah, man, it's just like, the hate was real, for Microsoft. They paid their dues. They got their nose bloody. They went back. They didn't just go back in the gym and try to get bocky as hell and lift weights and shit. They really tried to figure out how to fix their issues. Like the thing is, Microsoft could have simply just went and just said, fuck it, we're just going to make a more powerful system. That's not what they did. They went back and actually tried to understand the problems that were plaguing their system and to fix it and then beef up the hardware from there. Like when we looked at the start of this generation with PS4 and Xbox One, both of these consoles were rushed. You could just tell both of them were rushed. The only difference is Microsoft, well, there's multiple differences, but Microsoft, they decided to stick with the Connect because that was a big winner for them in the previous generation. They weren't really understanding the climate because at that time they weren't paying attention to Twitter. Remember, PlayStation was kind of like trying to get their footing back, so they were more, understanding of what was going on for the most part. And Microsoft, they just were, their nose was in the clouds. They wasn't really paying attention. That shouldn't even become apparent to them until it was too late. But at that point, you got to do, like, in business, you can't be smug. You got to be able to change. And the thing that really hurt them was the fact that, well, when they decided to change, it was too late. Unfortunately, I don't understand why they decided to try to make a peripheral mandatory in the first place. Especially when it wasn't connected to the console. Even though the fact that they tried to do it one way, but they just didn't. They got scared and then they just fucking fell back on it. So that made it even look worse. But it is what it is, man. I mean, you're looking at Xbox really just, man, how can I explain? This is like Xbox is like Tony Stark's, right? Like, they had a great design, but they decided to go back to the drawing board because the shit wasn't perfect, and they went in, they tried to fix the suit up and be like, look, like an Iron Man, he had the shit for his chest and he needed it to survive and blah blah blah. But he was like, you know what, fuck that. I could have fixed this shit years ago. Decided to get that fixed, and then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? Now I'm gonna focus on making the baddest suit ever, and not even have limitations to the shit. And that's really what Microsoft has to do, man. For me, I'm all about the games right now. Like, the hardware is going to be dope. I know that already. I'm not worried about the hardware. No more we're going to hear, oh, this game will be great. Or no, this is the saying. They always say, this game is cool for an Xbox game. Like there's some kind of stipulation with it. Like it's not. God damn it! What the fuck? Like, this game is cool for an Xbox game. Like, it can't be just a good game, But the things that what we're seeing right now is the temperature is just getting very, very hot out here. A lot of people that were saying one thing are now changing up and saying another. Once it wasn't good enough. These games weren't good enough on Xbox, but now, we're looking at multi-plats are going to be most dominant on Xbox, and the fear is there. We're going to look at the exclusives not get shitted on because of 1080p, and no matter what the fucking OG Xbox One does, it doesn't matter if the OG Xbox does 400p if or whatever the fuck. I mean, I obviously I don't think it'll do that, but I'm just saying, if it did, you're not going to really hear much about it because the fact that the Xbox Scorpio is going to be dominating, that conversation, that narrative has really changed. Shit, Tekken 7 is 720p, but nobody even says shit about it because it's irrelevant at this point. We know there's a more powerful console coming out, so for people to try to harp on it now, it's just like, well, why would you do that knowing that once this console releases in a short while, that role is going to reverse? And it ain't like the PlayStation 4 is setting the world on fire, because the Xbox One is 720p and the PS4 is like 834p, whatever the fuck it is. And that game don't look great either way. I mean, not to say that that's really the fault of Sony or Microsoft. That's really more of a development issue, because Injustice looks amazing on both of those platforms. So we're seeing big things, man. I mean, there's a lot of games that people are overlooking. Games like State of Decay and Sea of Thieves. People haven't seen them, so they just judging it based off of the little that they know of it. And certainly, games like Sea of Thieves are just hard to understand for most people to wrap their mind around, because if you're in the alpha, you're not really seeing the big picture. I mean, you could kind of like, not everybody's able to see where something can possibly go into the future, and that's not necessarily always the case that falls in line to what happens all the time either, right? Like, say, take somebody that starts off, their job, and they're very, they're up and comer, they show promise, but you don't know if they're going to become like the next CEO of the company. You can't, sometimes it's just hard to tell just by somebody coming straight out of college, or being an intern. It's just hard to read that. Now, some people can tell those things. They could look at somebody and be like, man, this person has serious ambition. I'm listening to their ideas. They're very creative. This person really is going somewhere with this, but not everybody can see that. Look at, like, well, since I'm, always talking about basketball, look at the NBA finals with a player like Draymond Green. He was drafted 35th in the NBA draft, right? It's not very high, kind of, second round pick. Nobody expected him to become a top 10 player in the league, but yet he is, right? But if you looked at him being drafted, nobody would have said, oh my God, this guy is going to be an amazing player. They just thought he was going to be a role player, and that comes with a lot of things. I mean, look at a game like soccer cars. Soccer cars lit the world on fire for a little bit. Don't get me wrong. I know it had help from the media. It had help from YouTube streamers, but still, it had its time in the sun, and it's still really popular. But nobody, would have guessed just straight up by seeing that game, because let's be honest, people play a lot of games. There's a lot of fun games out here. It's hard to tell which one will be the game that really, blows up and becomes something big. I mean, even a game like Destiny had a rough start, as far as, like, most people didn't like it. It wasn't for the fact that it just kept on getting content. The crazy thing is, like, Destiny is like one of the perfect scenarios where a game came out, got a lot of hype, got a lot of purchases, stumbled, but instead of allowing the game to fall, they had a plan, they executed it, and and had massive content for it, and it just kept the community striving. Like, if they didn't have content for Destiny, man, that shit would have failed like a motherfucker. But the content was there. Whether or not people liked the game, or the story, I should say, the concept was there. There was a reason for you to go back. Whether or not that was a game, something that you care for, that's a whole nother story. But there was something there to be had. There was some fun to be had there, unlike other games that tried to do similar things but failed because of the lack of content, man. And so it's really hard to say what's going to blow up nowadays as far as games. But I mean, looking at Sea of Thieves, I think it has potential, especially if it follows a formula, which, it has multiple blueprints. You have games like Destiny. You have games like Elder Scrolls Online to look at. You have games like Minecraft to look at. All these service-based games, because Sea of Thieves is a service-based game. So, games like, you have games like Halo 5. That's also partially a service-based game. Like, they have blueprints in order to figure out how they want to maximize the potential of these games. And I think that because people are kind of sleeping on it, it's really just an upside for Xbox. Because let's be honest, I'm in the alpha and I still don't know much about what I'm going to see in Sea of Thieves. And I'm in the alpha because everything is really hidden. They show you surface stuff, but they've hidden all the little, shit, I haven't even seen fish in that game. So, it's like they're hiding everything. They don't want you to know anything more than you should know for that game, other than just simply testing, right? They're trying to keep everybody's knowledge to a minimum so they can have their surprises, you know. So it's an interesting time. I mean, State of Decay is like probably out of all the exclusives, you know, AAA exclusives that are coming out, that's the biggest unknown because we really haven't seen much, and it's the one that's coming from basically indie status all the way up into AAA status, you know, and people that are trying to compare the original State of Decay to the State of Decay 2 are just doing it a big disservice because it's not even they're not even in the same ballpark as far as what they're able to achieve with one versus the other. You know, the first State of Decay had so many limitations on it, it was ridiculous. You know, but now you're gonna see some big shit. You know, they're making moves, they're taking their strides. I just I can't wait. I'm not even really. I know there's a bunch of rumors about other shit and other games. I'm not really paying attention to that right now. I'm just focused on the shit I do know about. Like all the other stuff, that's icing on the cake for me. Because you know, there's going to be uh, more games to be announced because all the games that we know of are really slated for 2017. So you know, Microsoft's not going to go to E3 just show everything that's slated for 2017 and not have anything for 2018. They don't do that. They're not going to, you know, so they're going to have something that's supposed to come out for next year because they always go 1 year ahead of the, you know, out from, you know, their E3 announcement. So it's going to be good, man. It's going to be good. But yeah, like this week was interesting. I finished a song for Jay and Crap Gamer and Mooch, and I put, you know, I sent that to him on, I think I sent it him on Thursday or Friday, because he asked me on Sunday to write it. So I wrote it. I think I was done with it on Tuesday. I recorded it on Yes, I was done with it on Tuesday, recorded it on Tuesday. First draft was done Tuesday, redid it on Wednesday after Jay sent me some edits, like he had some graphics that I could replace because I couldn't find them online. And then I sent it back to him, and now you have the new intro for the Moocha Crap Show, which is pretty cool. It was a little bit more challenging than I thought it would be because actually writing the song was more challenging than actually putting it all together. I was just trying to write something that didn't sound ridiculous, you know, even though it's still silly, and I do get hate for it. Like, you know, the funny thing about it, man, people that hate Xbox dudes hate hate that song, yo. They hate to be like, yo, I hate you. I hate this song. I'm like, yo, I'm sitting there like, I'm like, who the fuck are you? Well, I just saw that you. I'm like, I don't even remember even seeing you not once ever. Like, what the fuck? Well, I don't like you. I'm like, all right, that's great, but that doesn't, you know, what do you what do you want me to do? Yeah, this shit crazy, man. People come to my channel want to dictate what my channel should have on it. That shit is crazy. People like, yo, your channel is never gonna grow if you you put such and such on the, or whatever this content is on your channel. I'm like, dude, I started from zero. You act like I started from like 5,000 subscribers and then jumped down or some shit. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, these people are crazy, man. I swear these PlayStation dudes are nuts. They're beyond crazy. They be like, yo, this is what I want you to do with your channel, yo. I want you to talk about JRPGs that nobody give a fuck about. I want you to talk about some PlayStation shit nobody give a fuck about. I don't want you to, yo, you need to stop cussing in your videos because you cuss too much. I'm like, the fuck? Motherfucker, this is how I talk. You don't have to watch my shit. You know, like, it's okay. Like, you don't have to watch, like, there's many channels on YouTube. If you don't want to watch my shit, don't watch it. I'm okay. I'm not gonna cry. I'll be like Mary J. Blige. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm good. Like, yo, what the fuck, man? Yo, this shit is crazy the way people just come to your channel and dictate what the fuck you put on it. It's like, yo, I just never got that shit. But yeah, man, it's 6 days away. Man, there's gonna be a lot of crazy shit though. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a bunch of I've already heard things like, oh well, like people have their ideas. Okay, well, Microsoft can't talk about hardware because PlayStation is not talking about hardware. Well, that doesn't make any sense because Microsoft has Scorpio releasing. They have to talk about hardware, and then, and then they'll say, um, well, they got to talk about more games. Well, yes, of course they're going to talk about games. Remember, this is the crazy thing. A while ago, maybe a couple months ago, Phil Spencer was approached by somebody on Twitter, and the guy asked, "When can I get a pre-order for Xbox Scorpio?" And Phil Spencer said specifically and very clearly, "Wait for the games." He said it. Everybody was like, "Oh, what?" Well, not everybody, but a lot of crazy Xbox haters be like, "Oh, why would you say that? Why would you say wait for the games? What did you want people to just pre-order the console and like, oh, you're gonna just lose people?" I'm like, yo, if he's saying wait for the games, obviously he's saying that this console is so fucking dope that the games that are going to really shine on this console, like, why? Like, I don't see how that's so fucking hard to understand. But it's I don't know. It just seems to me like, people over the years they just let this hate for Xbox fester in their soul. And the thing is, man, it's going to be sad when they see people start moving over. It's going to be sad because I think people believe that there are more hardcore PlayStation guys out there than there actually are. Don't get me wrong. There's people that bought PlayStation, and there's people that like their PlayStation, and there's people that bought it, like it, and they may never get an Xbox, which is fine. There's a lot of people talking shit like, oh well, if I had a choice between an Xbox Scorpio and an Xbox One S, I'll just get a fucking Xbox One S. And I'm like, bitch, use a goddamn lie. That ain't no fucking choice, bitch. You ain't had an option. Nobody, if they have a choice between a Honda Accord and a fucking Ferrari, says, you know what? This Honda Accord is very fuel efficient. Bitch, that's not a choice. That means you can't afford it. That's why. Like, people, like, there's a to buy something and being able to afford something. Like I had a friend. She had money, right? She was making a decent living, and she decided, and you know what? I'm gonna buy a Land Rover. Now the thing about the Land Rover is, this shit is expensive. But the initial cost isn't that bad, right? It's about, I think her shit was like 60 grand or some shit like that, right? Cool. But then on top of it, you're talking about maintenance, similar to a lot of cars like that, BMWs, Mercedes. Fucking computer goes down, $4,000, $5,000. There's always some fucking big ass expensive cost, and it seems like it happens every 2 to 3 years, right? And that shit adds up. Now, if you don't have the type of job that you can afford that, what she did, she could afford it, but at the same time, even though she could afford it, it was an annoying hit to constantly have to take. Even though you could afford to deal with taking a $4,000, $5,000 loss because she had like 100 grand sitting in the bank. I mean, like, yeah, she could afford to take it, but at the same time, that's her vacation money. That's her go birthday party money. Like, whatever the fuck she wanted to do, that's her fucking money to do with that. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, like, when you can't afford certain things, then that shit doesn't appeal to you. Like, look, man, I'm not in the fucking Bentley bracket, so if you had gave me a choice between a a fucking Acura and a Bentley, I'm gonna go with the Acura because that is my bracket. Like that's what I could afford to drive comfortably without fucking feeling like I'm gonna have to eat fucking oodles and noodles for the next 30 something years just to, you know what I mean? Like, you know, but you know, say I am blessed enough to be in a better position to make a lot more money and I can afford a Bentley, meaning I can afford the car, I can afford the cost. None of that shit bothers me at all, like period, at all. Like you know, if it needs maintenance, you know, them telling me it's $7,000, $10,000 to fix, I'm like, you know what, that's cool. Don't bother me none. To me, it feels like $100. Then that's when, you know, it's cool. And to me, that's all I'm saying. Like these people out here talking about, oh well, I got a choice between Xbox Scorpio and the fucking Xbox One S. Bitch, if you telling me you picking a One S, that you just telling me you can't afford the Scorpio. You know, it is what it is. There's no shame in it. You know, if that's what you can afford, that's what you can afford. You know, I don't know why you wouldn't just wait. Like, why wouldn't you just save up? Like, to me, it would just make more sense to, like, if the S is like 200, 250, Scorpio's 400, maybe 500. I doubt it's that high, but say it's 500. Why not wait? Instead of having to get it at launch, wait. I mean, you waited this goddamn long. Might as well wait, get your money up, because the Scorpio is going to be around for a minute. This shit is going to be the Xbox, the looked at Xbox for probably the next 3 to 4 years. So you might as well wait a few months, maybe 5 to 6, where you have the bread, or wait until your income tax return comes in, whenever the money is available to you. And then at that point, then you go buy the Xbox Scorpio, right? And if you don't have the TV, that's cool. Games will still look great on your 1080p TV until you're able to afford the 4K TV. You know, so to me, I'm not going to waste my money on something lesser than what I want. What I know what I want is the higher, because that'd be like me going out and buying the KS 800 when I really want the KS 5000. I mean, not the 5000, it's KS 8500. You know, like if I want, like I'm not going to get the KS 8000 if I can get the KS 8500. I'm just not going to do it, or the 90,000. You know, like that's what I want. That's what I want. Like I'm not going to settle for that shit. But I mean, to each his own. People are different. But yeah, man, let's see what's in these comments. Let's see who's up in here. Who's next? Yeah, what's up? Says 6 more days until E3. Hype gonna be lit. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Like to be honest, I think what they're gonna do is like I said before, they're gonna just show you game on top of game and just keep on shoving that shit down your throat on Mixer. And you got to remember, like Microsoft pretty much got the show to themselves. So they're going to not only be on Mixer, they're going to be on YouTube, they're going to be on IGN. They're basically going to have that time slot to themselves. And there's nobody really coming after them for a while. So, yeah, they're going to be they're going to have the shit locked down. PlayStation will have their shit popping too on Monday. But only thing is, it is a work day, one. And then on the other hand, most of the people, well, it's late, so diehards will be up, but everybody else maybe not so much. All right, Spiting 13, best console ever made in great games, Xbox. Yeah, fuck the world. I feel you. Yeah, I think Crackdown. I think that shit's gonna be dope. I'm telling you, when I get that game, the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my gun and I'm gonna write my name on the goddamn wall, watching all the debris just stay there. I know it sounds fucking petty as hell, like be like, damn, you ain't gonna just play the game regular. Nah, it's the first thing I'm doing, writing my name in bullets on the wall, because I wanted to do it for years. And you do that and you realize that the trail's not disappearing, you be like, yo, we made it. You're like, we're here. This is next gen right now. This is next gen. Like that's what I want. Kelvin, what's going on? You said Microsoft's presser needs to be 2 hours. Well, it's not. What they're gonna do is it's gonna feel longer than that, to be honest. Especially with all the content they're gonna put out. So what they're gonna do is they're probably gonna put out all their main shit for everything's gonna be like bam, 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 right? It's gonna just pile through. Then when they go to Mixer, that's when they're gonna kind of slow shit down, have multiple channels, and you could just watch multiple shit. It's gonna be like what, well, you know what? You know what? They might not do multiple channels the first day because they might want to have everything focused, like have one show and just have everything focused on that one show. And maybe like on Monday, then they'll kind of separate and then have like a crackdown, like these 3 crackdown channels and these 3 Sea of Thieves channels and State of Decay and blah, 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 blah. Like they'll probably do it like that. You know, it might be all the same build, like you just constantly watching the same shit, but because you know, like they want to still be able to control, like they want to be able to kind of spoon feed certain elements of the games throughout the year, still to build hype. You can't just give everybody everything at one shot, but it's gonna be hot, man. Jay Sense, what's going on? Yes, them boys salty. All 50-year-old. Let's see, all 50-year-old me on my Facebook catching feelings. Man, see, listen, man. You know what? I don't know. I just felt like it. You know what? This is not as bad as like when I was a kid and Sega went away. Like I was salty when Sega went away because that was my console of choice. And when they basically got shitted on and got ran into the ground, and you know they stopped making games, and that was it. I was salty. I wasn't gonna lie, I was salty. But as salty as I was, I still picked up a PlayStation. I mean, I ain't really had a choice. I mean, I had to. PlayStation was, the Sega Saturn at the time had no fucking games, and the crazy thing is it happened twice. That's the crazy thing. It happened to the Saturn and it happened to the Dreamcast. This shit's crazy. But yeah, so I had to trade in that Saturn, got a PlayStation. Well, we got a PlayStation for Christmas. And we rocked out with that shit for a minute. I think it was like, I don't know how long we had PlayStation 1, but it was a while. I remember playing Metal Gear and Star Wars, I forget the name of the fighting game on Star Wars. Crash Bandicoot and Need for Speed and I can't. There's a bunch of games that we used to play on that shit. But yeah, man. Oh, I was always a gamer, man. So whatever has the games I want, that's where I'm going. But I was riding out with Sega for the longest, man. But yeah, when they stopped making games, I didn't have a choice. I had to go to where the games were, and their games look just as comparable to the PlayStation at the time. Actually, yeah, it was about the same because I'm trying to remember the Saturn. Well, no, I think the PlayStation was a little bit better looking than the Saturn because PlayStation had the CD. I'm trying to remember. I think they both had CD players. I think Saturn had a CD player and the PlayStation had it. And the Dreamcast definitely had one. It just didn't have a DVD player. But yeah, the PlayStation was dope for what it was, man. I mean, I definitely wasn't a fan of when I had to fucking flip that motherfucker upside down because it didn't work. That's one thing people don't realize about that goddamn PlayStation, man. That shit fucking breaks a goddamn lot. Because I remember having that PlayStation wasn't that goddamn old. That shit might have been 2 years old. I had to flip that motherfucker up upside down just to play goddamn disc. That shit used to be annoying as hell. I ain't never had to do that shit for my Saturn or my fucking Dreamcast. But whatever. Calvin, ponies need pony pads. Yeah, man, it's gonna be bleeding out here. They're gonna be crying. It's gonna be crazy. What up, DJ Sang? What's going on? Yeah, you got shooting ponies. That's what's up. I said, Mike said the only rivalry that's even close is Marvel versus DC. It's getting closer. That Marvel versus DC. That Wonder Woman is definitely gave him a leg up because that Batman versus Superman. Well, the original movie was kind of slow, but I did watch the extended version. I must say the extended version is a lot better. It's still not better than any of the main Avenger movies. Like none of those are like all those are better than Batman versus Superman. But it is a lot better when you have like all the content that they cut out that movie because that shit makes a difference, man. But that Wonder Woman I heard is fucking fire, so I do want to see it. My wife don't want to see it though. She don't give a fuck about Wonder Woman. I'd be like, damn. I mean, I'm interested in. You don't even give a shit. She'd be like, nope. I was like, all right. All right, let's see. Jason, what's going on? Let's see what you wrote here. Xbox is Golden State. PlayStation 4 is the Cavs on Sunday. You know what? A good reference wouldn't even be that. I think. What could I compare it to? Huh. I don't. Would I compare them to the? You know what? I think Sony's more like the Spurs to me. And why I say that is they've won. Like you got to think about it. Sony's won damn near every generation except for one. They won PS1's generation, PS2's generation. They lost PS3's generation, but they won They're winning this generation, right? And they've always had their shortcomings throughout all those generations. But even throughout all that, they still have a crazy good record. You know, similar to San Antonio. You know, San Antonio, I think they've had a 50 wins for the last God knows how long, like 15 years or some shit like that, something crazy long. Like they've won 15 games a season, something stupid. You know, oh shit. You know, to me, Microsoft is would they be Golden State? In a ways, I guess they could. I guess they could kind of be Golden State in a ways, just for the simple fact that you know they have a lot of firepower. They basically got both teams have their systems, but Microsoft when their wheels are fully spinning, like basically more so last gen, they had everything going in their way as far as all the firepower. Where the fuck is this? What is this? Hold on. Hello. I don't know. God damn it, motherfuckers. All right, so yeah, but the firepower is they both have their systems, but I think that Xbox is way more flashy. So I guess you're right. I guess it is more like Golden State. Yes, Xbox is all about explosions, dunks, all that cool shit. And PS4 is more methodical. You know, they're more about the story, the journey. And that's very much San Antonio. So I mean, and both are good. It's just that one has been around and been tried and true for a long fucking time. Another one is trying to get his feet under it and trying to build something, for the future. So yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Let's see. Chris Hughes, assault levels are very high. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. They got a lot of people out here checking their blood pressure. Like they gonna have people out there with masks on at E3. They're gonna be playing freaking Future out there. Get those oxygen masks out there because the people gonna be passing out because them salt levels are gonna be high as fuck. Let's see who else is up in here. JTB live. You heard about the Ninja Gaiden? Yeah, I heard about it. I don't know if it's gonna be true, but I heard about it. Um, I haven't played Ninja Gaiden since the second one. Um, I think the third one was bad. I heard it was bad, so I didn't even bother. But you know, Mike says I still don't care about Destiny. It's a Halo clone. I'm with you on that. It's hard for me to really. Mm. I mean, you know, it's not for everybody. You know, I don't. Certain games appeal to certain people, and for me, Destiny doesn't appeal to me in the way I thought it would. I think it's, how can I put this nicely? It is the Tu Wan Fu version of Halo, because it's more about getting dressed up than actually doing something. You know, like I think to me, Destiny is more about like what clothes you're wearing and how this scarf looks and how's my boots look. Like, look at my boots. You see my boots look. You know, that's, to me, that's more like, you know, it's like the Tu Wan Fu version of Halo. That's what Destiny feels like to me. I'm not saying it doesn't have great mechanics and it doesn't do things well. Of course it does. It's still Bungie. But I just think the style of the game is just so bit. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. It's something about it. I can't put my finger on it, but it's something about that game that just don't appeal to me, man. I don't know. Maybe it's the 30 frames per second going after playing Halo at 60. It's hard for me to really go back. I don't know. Maybe that's it, but let's see. Evil M Crap's video was very interesting. Oh, you must be talking about his prediction video. I didn't really listen to the whole thing, but I heard most of what he said yesterday on BGST, and I read the article, so I already knew most of the stuff he was saying. So yeah, it's cool though. Like, look, man, like, to me, if all those games come, it's cool, you know. But to be honest, me personally, all those games that are going to be announced for the future, I'm like, that's what's up. But I'm still amped for what I'm getting this year more so than anything I'm really worried about getting next year. Because I just want the shit that I've already been promised. I'm not even worried about the new shit yet. You know, I mean, when it comes, cool. And I'll be like, oh shit, that's just hot. Can't wait. But to be honest, I can, because I want to play the shit I was already promised first. Because he wants me to send Mooch and Crap the pony pad commercial. Um, you know what? I will. I don't know if they'll play it, but I will. um, what's up, Bats? It says at Max, same here. Not appealing at all. Oh, you're talking about Destiny? Yeah, it's not for everybody. Andrew Wilkins, Scorpio is officially a Steam device. Like I predicted, yes, some Sony guys will buy Scorpio to play some of the games on the Steam app. I don't know about Steam device, but yeah, people will buy it just because it has a better version. Yeah, it's no different than the reason why people bought play. Like, there's people that had Xbox, right? Xbox One, that bought PlayStation 4 just to play the slightly better version of the multiplats. So there will be people that buy Scorpio to play the better versions of the multiplats. It is what it is. Like, you're always going to have people that do that. You know, is it going to be everybody? I don't know. It's just hard for me to tell. I don't know what, you know, why they made their purchases. You know, different people buy things for different reasons. It might have been financial. It might have been, you know, technology. I don't know. Maybe they're friends. Who knows? There's a lot of different reasons why people buy what they do. But um, but the hardcore, anybody who's they're either gonna buy the games on Scorpio or they're gonna play them on PC, which I doubt, because I just doubt it. I think if you have a choice between playing an Xbox game on Scorpio versus playing it on PC, unless you just don't want to play games on console, period, I don't see you buying that shit on PC. I just don't. Unless it's going to Steam and you can play your friends there. But other than that, I don't see it. Even though I must admit, I do actually enjoy playing Phantom Dust on my PC more than I like playing it on my Xbox. But that's mostly because my TV is not as new as my monitor. So like the game looks way better on my monitor than it does on my television because my television is old and I need to replace it. All right, what else is up here? If I had a Mike writes, if I had a choice between Scorpio and the S, I'm getting the Dreamcast. You're crazy, yeah. Yo, you know what's crazy about? Oh, this is dress. Yo, you know what's crazy about the Dreamcast is I got it late and I didn't know it was dead, but it still was the shit. Yeah. Well, yeah, if you got the Dreamcast late, you got a lot of games. At that time. I mean, because I'm trying to remember exactly how I got the Dreamcast when I was in college. So, you know what? It probably didn't have a lot of games. Because the thing is, when I was in college, um, I didn't really play anything except for sports games, really, to be honest. So I got the Dream College. I got the Dreamcast like my freshman year. And I think it died the year after. No, you know what? Was it freshman year? No, it was my sophomore year. Because freshman year we were rocking out with the PlayStation. Like one of my friends had the PS2, I think it was. PS2, PS1, one of those. And then I had the Nintendo 64. And we used to play GoldenEye like a motherfucker. Like that. We used to play GoldenEye and Turok on the Nintendo 64. And then after that I bought the Sega Saturn. And we rocked out with that for like sophomore year, junior year. I think it was junior year. Yeah. No. Yeah, I think it was junior year. And then, well, early junior year. I think I'm trying to remember 2000 and fuck. I don't remember 2000 something. Xbox, the OG Xbox came out. Or was it 15 years? Since 2002. Okay, yeah. So 2002. Yeah, I got the Xbox One. That shit was like fuck. I mean the OG Xbox. Damn, I'm trying to remember how much that shit cost. I think it was 300. I think the OG Xbox was $300. And I bought that shit with Halo. I think a racing game and Dead or Alive. Something like that. But I remember only playing Halo for like the beginning. Like all I did was play Halo. Like me and my friends. Like I literally had to go out and buy controllers because we realized how good that game was, and it was like 4-player, and I just bought 4 controllers. We had hella controllers. Now it's like almost pointless to have mad controllers unless you want them for yourself because everybody's online now. You don't need them to play with other people. Not like that unless you're a kid and you got siblings. Let's see. Cypherman, Microsoft now that Phil is running things, it's going to be like the Chicago Bulls with Jordan. I hope so. I hope so. I mean, it looks like they've they kind of, you know what? The funny thing is a lot of people always say, oh well, Phil was there when Donnie Matrix was the running Microsoft, and the decisions that were made Phil was part of, which is true, right? But when you're not the head, you don't make the final say. It doesn't really matter because all that stuff doesn't fall onto you, and you don't really have the final. Like, so you can give a suggestion, but that doesn't mean the person ahead of you is going to take it. Look at look at the case with the Cavs and the Warriors, right? Cavs and the Warriors, or even better yet, look at the Cavs, right? Cavs have Tyronn Lue as their head coach, but before they had I forget his first name, but Blake, something like that. Whatever the dude from, I forget what country he's from, but the European coach from that used to coach the Cavs. Tyronn Lue was the coach for that team when the Cavs lost in the NBA Finals. He was the assistant coach, but the Cavs decided, they fired Black, and then they hired Tyronn Lue, and then they won the following year. So the thing is like, look, he, just because somebody was on a team that lost doesn't mean that person has the same mindset of the person that was the head of the team at the time. You just gotta look. He has to stay in his spot. He got to stay in his lane. So he's not the coach. If he's not the head coach, he can't really make that many suggestions. And that's the same thing for being the CEO or the president. You can control everything when you're at the top, but when you're just like somebody that's supposed to be a supporting agent for the president or the coach, look, man, you just play your position until the time is right. So Phil is doing a good job, and hopefully things will continue to grow under him, and we'll see. E3 is going to be a chance to see what's Phil doing. And if he shows us games, and I know a lot of people are like, oh man, but it's been so slow the last couple. Like, look, man, there's always going to be a lull when you're making big changes, always, and there's always going to be sacrifices. And Microsoft had to to sit back and just bite the bullet on it and deal until they were able to show what they can show. Okay, next one, Mike. I predict a new Splinter Cell, a new Fable, and a brand new IP from Microsoft. Well, yeah, I hope a new. You know what? I hope we get Splinter Cell, and I hope it's exclusive. And I know some PlayStation guys will be like, "Well, no, that's not fair because blah blah blah." I'm like, look, man, Splinter Cell is an Xbox brand type game, similar to way Metal Gear Solid is a PlayStation. Man, I play Metal Gear Solid on Xbox. That shit feels like a PlayStation game. It feels weird as hell. I'm like, yo, why the fuck does this shit feel like this? It don't feel like, but PlayStation is its home. So, look, man, it just plays better over there because they're used to playing it like that. Like, as an Xbox guy, it just feels weird to play that game on an Xbox. It's awkward. But I wouldn't mind PlayStation Splinter Cell being exclusive. It doesn't have to be, but regardless, it's going to look great on Scorpio, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Fable, new Fable. I don't know what they're going to do with Fable. I'm hearing online Elder Scrolls type Fable, which could be good because my boy Keegan loves damn Elder Scrolls Online. He loves that shit. Now me, I'm just way too. I just haven't played it, so I'm just way too far back to really understand how to play that game like that. But hey, I don't know. It could be some big shit. And a new IP. Well, yeah, I'm hearing they have a few of them, so we'll see. We shall see. Iceman, love the stream. Thanks, man. Let's see. What else you have up here? Hold up. Shit, move down. Dr. Gauntlet, what's going on? Hopefully Microsoft can capture people's attention with E3. Yes, I hope so. I think, I think the wow factor is going to be Crackdown. But I might be wrong. I might think because I'm just talking about shit I know. It might be something we didn't even see yet. That's possible too. You know, I can go and be like, oh, I think the wow factor is going to be Crackdown, and then all of a sudden some shit that comes out from way left field that I didn't know about. It's just like, yo, what the fuck is this? Oh shit! And not that people won't still be hyped about Crackdown. It's just that, you know, now they got all this other shit that's coming out. You know. But either way, it's all good, man. Look, I think that the games that they're going to show, I think this is going to be a big year. I think, you know, Microsoft's heard a lot, so and you got to realize they haven't really shown many games. You know, they pretty much stuck very close to the chest, so they might have a lot of stuff that's been in the works. You know, they're talking about they had thousands of games being operated on, so for Lord knows, you know, they could have had a couple of AAAs in those thousands of games. So. You got Derek. He said, "I can't wait for Madden in true 4K." Oh, I suck dog shit in. I'm dog shit in Madden, man. I suck. I try, but it's just bad, man. It's just bad. But nah, I feel you, man. If it's dope, um, I'll play it. I'll play it in EA Access because I got, you know, that's how I've been playing the last few Maddens. But yeah, I'm not gonna buy it day one because I know I am terrible. Like I haven't. Like the only football game I was all that interested in was NFL 2K, and ever since that disappeared, I just kind of just gave up on uh, football games, man. Let's see. Says Dr. Gauntlet. Really like Sunset Overdrive, but it needs more music variety. You know what? You might be right about that. I can't remember. I think it's all punk rock, if I'm not mistaken. The thing is, you can't change the radio, so it's just like, hmm. You know what would be interesting if for Sunset, you know, I don't know. I don't know. They would just have to figure out how they would want to. I don't know. I guess that's the feel that they wanted. It was like that punk rock shit. So I don't know. It's really hard to say. Derek said, how would I market and advertise the Scorpio?" Uh, that's a good question. You know what? I haven't really thought about the marketing for it. Hmm. Well, I guess you could always show it as the showcase. So, and the reason why I say this is because even when you could showcase the Scorpio as your main console, and people will still buy your your second tier console. And the reason why I say that is people like there's an iPhone 7, right? I think the iPhone 8 is about to come out, but there's an iPhone 7 out right now. There's still people that when they go to the store, they'll buy an iPhone, but they'll buy whatever iPhone they can afford. So if iPhone 6 is, you know, new but cheap enough, they'll go get that versus the 7. Or say if it's not even the 6, say it's the 5, they'll go get that instead of the 7. So you can still showcase and just advertise your main console as like your top tier console, and people will still trickle down to the lower tier consoles, you know, knowing that all right, this is the lower tier, but they still, you know, the upper tier and the lower tier still basically utilize the same content. You know, I just don't have the same features that are available to me as, you know, the new phone. Like my camera's not going to be as nice, and you know the operating system isn't going to run as smoothly. You know, because we all know that, you know, the operating system for the iOS for iPhones, they run better on the newer iterations because that's what they're aimed for. Not that they're aimed to run like shit on you know, the iPhone 4 and all that shit. Is just that, you know, it's older hardware. They assume at some point when you get tired of that shit crawling, you're gonna be like, fuck it, I gotta upgrade. And the same thing will happen to Xbox. You know, when you get tired of your games looking, you know, the way they do, and you want a better performing console, you're gonna upgrade. So yeah, that's what I think they're gonna really look into. Dr. Gauntlet. Let's see. Y'all thinking 90s E3 gonna be fire? Oh, Nintendo's. I don't know. Do they have an E3? I mean, I know they're at they're you know they're there, but they're like a live stream type thing or something. I don't think they're actually doing a show. They're doing whatever that treetop thing is. So I don't know. I'm not a Nintendo fan, so I don't really care what Nintendo does. Like that's just not appealing to me. That'd be like if somebody's like, guess what? That'd be like if somebody just ran up, was like I was at some event, was like, oh my god, oh my god, yo, guess who's here? I'm like, I don't know who. Yo, wait, gotta catch my breath. Yo, Gabba Gabba. I'm like, what? No, Andorra the Explorer. They're here, both of them. I swear to God. I'm like, all right. No. They're over there in the other room. Yo, it's Yo Gabba Gabba and Dora Explorer, and I think they got Adventure Time. It's gonna be amazing. I'm like, yeah. All right, well, you enjoy that. Like that's to me, that's how I feel about Nintendo. I'm like, that shit is not for me. Because I never liked Zelda in none of those games. I just like my brother liked Zelda way more than I did. I don't know, it just never appealed to me. I mean, other than Gold, like I'm thinking like Donkey Kong Country, Resident Evil, uh, GoldenEye, Jesus, Turok. These are all the games I played on Nintendo consoles. X-Men, Spider-Man, X-Men and Spider-Man played on Nintendo consoles. Killer Instinct, you know, that's the shit I played on Nintendo consoles, man. Oh man, but it's getting late. I gotta cook this dinner because I'm hungry. But this is your boy Live Wire, and thanks for hanging out with me today. And hopefully, some more news pops up, and we could talk about that. Oh, you know what I wanted to talk about real quick is Sony with the whole back compat, because I know I didn't speak about it, but Sony was, I forget, some fucking dude at Sony was saying how back compat is like just a meaningless thing to do. And I'm like, dude, it's meaningless because you can't do it. Like like that's when you can't do some shit, that's why people will just say, oh well, who cares about that shit? Like, but you can't do it. Like, so that's why you see these guys out here putting up, like they said they'll look into it, trying to do backwards compatibility. They have the cloud cloud service for the PlayStation Now. That's their option for backwards compat. People aren't gravitating towards it because it's just not efficient enough at this point. And PlayStation hasn't really figured out a way to do anything like emulators with Microsoft. Like the difference between PlayStation and Microsoft is, look, PlayStation do have they have a lot more studios. They're a movie company. They're able to do a lot more things with those studios towards their gaming, like do a lot of the cutscenes. Have always been big on things like that, right? That's why it's so easy for Sony to just make a cutscene and just throw it up for E3, like they did with PSX for The Last of Us 2. It's just an easy thing for them to do. It doesn't cost them really any money. They have the studios to do it, but so they have that. But what the thing is, like Microsoft, they have a different approach, where they don't have necessarily all the artistic abilities of Sony. They have the technology, so it's all about. That's why you see the difference between the two. One, Microsoft focuses a lot more on gameplay elements when it comes to their games, whereas PlayStation focuses more on the artistic. Like all the reviews that you see about Sony is never about gameplay anymore. It's always about the art, the story, and the art. That's usually what they talk. Like Nintendo, gameplay. Microsoft, gameplay. Sony, art, story. Like that's usually what you hear. You know, the gameplay is usually the last thing for PlayStation. Usually it just has to be like it has to be good enough. Like it doesn't have to be great, but it has to be solid. And you know, and yet they get 10 out of 10s all the time, which is interesting because you're talking about a video game. Like a game like The Last of Us, it's a good overall game, but the gameplay is not amazing. Same thing with Uncharted. You know, it has a great story, like I said, and it has great graphics, but the gameplay isn't all that amazing. But those games get 10 out of 10s all the time. You know, where it very much lacks gameplay, like the ability to just change up shit, do shit on the fly. Like, you know, like what happened with, like, think of it, the Last of Us. There's very little mix up where you could just do some wild shit that's not kind of halfway scripted. Like you can't do some shit like even think about like the gameplay for Gears of War. Like doing the roll shot right into a shotgun blast into somebody's fucking abdomen where they blow apart. Like that's some wild shit, but you can't. That shit ain't easy to fucking pull off all the time. Even if you were like, all right, yo, what if you do a roll shot and shotgun both of their legs off? Like that shit is hard as hell to do. You know, because you got to be able to aim it in such a way that you actually shoot their legs off and then take a picture of that shit. Like I've never been able to do that shit, but I've had it done to me multiple times. When you get on that Gears of War, you be like, "Yo, these motherfuckers is ruthless out this motherfucker, doing the crazy ass bounces off the ball and shit." Like you don't see no shit like that in fucking in those type of games. It's very much straightforward, but you know it is what it is, man. But like I said, man, you know, with Sony, like they can't do back compat, so therefore it's not good. You know, it is what it is. But anyway, this is your boy Live Wire. I'm about to get out of here. I got to get started on some shit, but I will be back. Catch me out. Check me out probably Wednesday. Definitely going to be on GRG. We're going to talk more games. Probably also be on direct podcast. But, you know, till next time. See you later. Peace. And I'm out this motherfucker, baby. Hit the like button.